guys, welcome back to the channel and welcome to another deep down look sort of unboxing. Today we're looking at a horror box set, a Japanese horror box set called Daiei Gothic Japanese Ghost Stories Volume 2, released here by Radiance. This came out I think about October last year, 2025. I've only just picked it up. I haven't opened it yet, still sealed, so we'll have a look. But before we do that, I think what we'll have a look at the first one, which I got in 2024. And this was in my top 10 favourite physical releases of 2024. I think it's number 2 or number 3 in my top 10 of that year. Which contains another Japanese ghost story. So each box set contains 3 films each, so there's 6 J horrors in these. So what we'll have a look at this one first, and then we'll have a look at New York. So let's not waste any time. Let's have a deep down look at Daiei Gothic. So here we are, guys. Here's box set number 1 of Daiei Gothic 1. So we will open and look at number 2 as soon as we've looked at number 1. It comes with like a J card, which is semi taped on. Why they just didn't put one on here, I don't know, or some of that sort of gluey stuff just to stick it on, which would have been nice. But you can take them off and pop them inside the box, which when it starts to get a little bit tatty, that's what I tend to like to do. So this is set 1 that came out in 2024. It contains 3 ghost stories newly remastered in 4K. So we're going to have a look at all those. It also includes interviews from the filmmakers and other special features and a book. And this is limited edition to 4,000 copies worldwide. Now this one is out of print and it sells for silly money. I bought it for about £44. It goes to about 300 or so now because it's well out of print, sadly. But it's really cool. The back has just got the back of the J card, and it also has what films are inside. So let's take the content out. The box, nice solid box. It has a booklet which we will look at in a minute. And it has 3 films, so we'll try and look at these in order as they are in the box set. The first one is The Ghost of Yotsuya. If you want to see the film reviews of these, I did do a Japanese ghost story week and I reviewed all 3 of these, and I will do the same with the other 3. So this one is a film by Kenji Masumi. Just let me grab a drink, guys. I like to have a drink while I'm enjoying myself. So yeah, and it's a Japanese samurai ghost story. I think all 3 of these were samurai stories, and I wouldn't be surprised if the others was all samurai too. So these do come with reversible sleeves like that. I'm not going to go through the synopsis of the films because I've already done it on my review. If you want to find out what they're about, please go and check them out on my channel. Yeah, The Ghost of Yotsuya is by Kenji Masumi, who is quite famous in Japan. He did the Lone Wolf films, and this is another horror story from him. Next up is my favourite one in this set, which is The Snow Woman by Tokuzo Tanaka. Wonderful cover there, really cool. This is the reversible sleeve. I turned it around because I like that picture. We'll see the other sleeve in a minute, but yeah, it's a wonderful film. So this was the original sleeve. Let me take the film out. They're a bit tough in this set to get out. Well, that was the original sleeve. Very cool. Such a good film. I didn't give you the year, did I, of these films? The first one was 1959 and this one is 1968. It runs for an hour and a half and it's in Japanese language with British subtitles. By the way, I'll let you know, these are region A and B, so you can watch them pretty much anywhere. Probably why they've sold out, because if there's region B only, they probably take a bit longer to sell out, but because they are A and B, they're probably people in America have bought these too. But that is that release, The Snow Woman, which is fantastic. Then we have The Bride from Hades, which is another really cool film by Satoru Yamamoto. Really cool film this was as well. Again, I've turned them all around, the covers, because I like these without any writing on it. This was such a unique and really cool film. I gave all three films in there 10 out of 10 because they're all that good. Here's a reversible cover, the original cover of it. This was 1968 as well and runs for 90 minutes in Japanese, English subtitles. Once again, region A and B. So really cool. So they're the three films that you get in the first set. Really cool, all three of them. Let's have a quick look at the booklet that comes with it. So this is the book. Absolutely wonderful set. Really cool. It goes through each movie. There's reviews in here, there's essays, there's lots of content in it. So we go through the first film, which gives you a cast breakdown and a crew. I'm not going to attempt to give names, guys, because it's I struggle with English names, let alone Japanese names. The Snow Woman and The Bride of Hades. Really cool films. Sword in the Shadow. Yeah, these are all this is Daiei is the studio, which was founded in 1942 and emerges from Japanese oldest film studio, Nikazu, and two smaller production houses, Toyota and Shinka Cinema. So it's three companies together and they call themselves Daiei, and this is three of their films. And it goes through the history here of the company and some of the films that they made, and concentrates on the three films that are in this set. Then we have an essay by Zach Davison on the legacy of ghost stories, The Haunting of Japan. Probably going through a little bit of history of like how important ghost stories are in Japan. It's, to me, these people would call them Japanese J-horror. From now on, I'm going to call them folk horror, because they are folk horror. These are based on Japanese folklore, so these are all sort of like old stories from Japan. So these are folk horror, but they're ghost stories, but they're folk horror in Japan. So I should really just call them folk horror. So here we have a review of one of the films, a review of The Snow Woman, a review of The Bride of Hades, some quite nice photos. It's not overly done in photographs, that's lovely. You don't really want too many photos in this, you actually want information, because you can watch the films for photos. Yeah, really cool. I love this additional sort of old Japanese art here. That's wonderful. Very cool. Loads of essays in here. Comprehensive. Again, when I tell you about this set and why I buy them, because this makes the film no longer a film, it makes it an experience. because you can read the history, not just about the film. So it's about the company. It's about Japanese folklore. It's about the people that starred in the film, where the inspirations come from, and all these wonderful, wonderful things. Look at this, you know. It's just absolutely wonderful. So if you've fallen in love with the films like I have, you can sit down and read this book, which I haven't at this moment in time. I'm going to lie to you. But we're looking at this now. It makes me want to read it. Very, very cool. And that's the booklet that comes in the first set. Very cool. The only thing I think it would have been nice would have been some art cards or posters and things like that in there. But yeah, we'll put the films back in the set there. And that is the first set. A close look at the first set, which is a couple of years now out old, but it's out of print. Just beware of that. If you're going to try and buy it, it's not going to be cheap. If you do find it cheap, that's really cool. I'm happy for you. But everywhere I've looked, it's nearly £300. I think on eBay you might be able to pick it up for 100 and something. I've looked on CEX. They have it listed for like about £90 or something like that, but they don't have it. It's out of stock. It's that rare. There's only 4,000 copies worldwide, guys. So there we go. So let's bring over the new set and we'll have a look at this one. So this is Daiei Gothic volume 2. It doesn't say volume 2 on there. It just says 3 ghost stories. It would have been nice if they put a 2 on it, just so people know that they've got the second set. So we haven't opened it yet, so we will get into it. I bought this, when did I buy this? I think I bought it at the beginning of the year with some of my sort of Christmas vouchers. And because I thought, well, if I don't get it, I will regret it, and it will go out of stock just like the other one. I believe at the moment this one is still in stock, so it might be worth trying to grab it if you can, if you like these sort of films, that is. Because I think even £150 is too much for 3 movies. But there we are. Now we can see it better about the cling film on it. Wonderful, wonderful artwork there on the front. Absolutely stunning, beautiful. That's what I love about these two sets. The artwork on them, it's kind of phenomenal, isn't it? And they sort of sit together really nice. If you just didn't have the J cards on them, they look so nice together. I wouldn't be surprised if we get a third one this year, which if we do, I'll probably jump on it. Alright, so this one is again 3 ghost stories, newly restored into 4K. Limited edition of 4,000 once again. 4K restorations, new interviews, visual essays, audio commentaries, new writings, and limited edition booklet. So again, the back is the same with the titles of the film on the back and the companies, and it's also got Dolby audio on this, and once again it's region A and B. So we'll remove the content from the box and we will look at each film. Now this is my first time seeing them with you, so we will have a look. It does come with another book. Let's go through the first film, Ghost of Kasane Swamp, or Kasan Swamp. This is a film by Kimiyoshi Hasuda, or Yasuda. Amazing artwork. So once again, we'll show you the reversible cover. So if they release them on their own, this is what the cover will be. This is a 1970 film, runs for 83 minutes in Japanese with English subtitles. Special features on here is we've got a 4K restoration, we've got selected audio commentaries from Horror Film Scholar, we have, not Kim Newman, we have an interview with J horror filmmaker Norora Tezura, 18 minutes, a legacy of ghosts, a visual essay, a trailer, and new English subtitles. I will also, when I review these films, I will also give you a closer look at the special features when we do the film review. So that's the first one, Ghost of Kasane Swamp. The second one is The Haunted Castle, directed by Tokuzo Tanaka, which I believe he has a film in the first set, which is really, really cool. Love the cover. That reminds me of the police video, Wrapped Around Your Finger. So here is the other sleeve. Again, this is 1969, 82 minutes, Japanese English subtitles, region A and B. We do have a 4K restoration. We have an interview with J horror filmmaker. We have a strange case of Yuki Ori, a visual essay, only runs for about 8 minutes, a trailer, new English subtitle translation, reversible sleeve. So they're not huge in special features, but what can you do? Maybe stuff wasn't made, interviews weren't done around the time of the release of these films back in the 60s and early 70s. These look again to be very traditional folk horror based around the Japanese kind of samurai period. It looks like they're all set around that sort of period as well. Very, very cool. Very cool. And the last one in the set is The Demon of Mount Oi. I'm going to say Oi because it's O-E. And this is another film by Tokuzo Tanaka, who did The Haunted Castle. So he has 2 movies in this set. That looks very demonic, doesn't it? Very cool. Once again, we'll have a look at the reverse cover. Whoa, looks like a spider there. That's creepy. This is 1960, so this is the oldest one in this set. The other one had a film from 1959. This one's got 1960. And Tokuzo Tanaka is the director of The Snow Woman, which is in the first set. So I actually have 3 films of his, which is really cool. Once again, this is 1960, 83 minutes, Japanese language with English subtitles, regions A and B. Has a few special features on here, the 4K restoration, an interview with period film historian, The Blade of the Demon, which is a visual essay, which is only 4 minutes, and we have a trailer, English subtitles, reversible sleeve. So that is the last film in the set. I think that's actually probably the first. I've probably done them in reverse. No, I have done them in the right order. So there we go. So that is the 3 movies that we have in that set. Very cool. We'll pop these aside and we'll have a look at the perfect bound booklet. Once again, very nice. There's other things that could have been done to make the box set just a bit more incredible, like make these books hardback instead of the softback, but it works, it's fine. And like I said, maybe some art cards, but not necessarily posters, but some art cards would have been nice in each box, even if it was 2 from each film. But there we are. Very similar format to the first book. So we've got the 3 films, Oh, it is in that order. So Demon of Mount Oyi is the first film in the set, probably because of the year. The Haunted Castle. And the Ghost of Kasani Swamp. Sympathy of the Oni. Traditional artwork there, very cool. Again, once again, essays. This is an essay about the first film, an influence on modern J-horror. And there's notes about the essay there. Saga of the Ghost Cat. These are wonderful books. It's going on about strange cats in Japan and how important they are to their folklores and folk tales, cats. And if you ever watch a lot of Japanese sort of films, they do have quite a few cats in them. More so than dogs. I have noticed that. That's a cool poster. But I like it. It's nice that the poster's not overly sized. You don't need a whole page of it. Sins of the Fathers. Another essay. Another beautiful bit of artwork. That would be a cool poster. I would love that. That's a painting of a ghost of Kasani Swamp. Early 20th century. Another picture there from the films, and then we have another old painting. Originally printed by Myths and Legends of Japan. So that's from a book called Myths and Legends of Japan. So these are great folk horror films. Slays the Goblin Spider. So there's got to be a spider in that one. The Vampire Cat. So these are going on about the original folklore about the ghosts in these films, all three films. So it's telling you a little bit behind the background, behind these ghosts and where they've originated from. So this is True Views at Kasani Marsh. It's an old samurai there. Contemporary reflections of the supernatural. Another large essay. And loads of notes and work sightings on there. And there's a bit there about the transfers, the release credits, acknowledgements, and the special thanks to the people that's been involved in this set. And a great picture on the back. So we'll pop this stuff away. So that's another closer look at the that one. So we'll try and put these back in the right order this time. There we go. Excellent. So that is a close look at the Daiei Gothic collections released on Radiance. So as you can see, the absolutely wonderful sets we got there. They're both fantastic. Now I've only seen the 3 films in set 1, which I did do a whole week in 2024, I think it was. I did a whole week of reviewing these films. It might have been 2025, early 2025. I reviewed all 3 films, and they were all, guys, 10 out of 10 films. They were all incredible, gripping, eerie, mysterious, and fantastic, and quite scary ghost stories. Really, really cool. So I'm really looking forward to jumping into the set 2, the second set. Like I said, it would have been nice if they would have just, even if they put a 2 there, just so it just sort of sits well with you, because you might go and buy this for something. You might go and buy this and think, so I've got the first one, but you haven't. It's the second. So the only way you can tell really is the drawings of the cover and possibly the colorations of the bands of the J cards. But yeah, they're really cool films. Really highly recommend picking them up if you get a chance. They're just really cool. There's just something about them that was just not just the stories, because these are old stories. Like I said, these are folk horror. These are Japanese folk horror films. They're not just ghost stories or things like that. They are based on old proper folk horror films, just like the British ones and folk horror, pretty much based on pagan stories that have happened. Things like the Wicker Man and things like that are based on some sort of truth. And these are all based upon old Japanese folk stories, and they're worth picking up. Massive shout out to my lad, guys. See you soon.